lead the cruiserweight on the opening stage. He holds a 27-point lead over his closest championship rival Mikko Hirvonen. The Finn has Sebastian Ogier just 4 points back. Fourth on the road is Jari-Matti Latvala, while Petter Solberg is the only man other than Loeb to win a tarmac rally still competing. Osberg has little experience on asphalt in a WRC car. He starts just ahead of M Sport's Stobart teammate Matt Wilson. Former F1 champ Kimi Räikkönen will hope to make an impression on tarmac, and it's a big weekend ahead for the Mini drivers and the returning Ken Block. A loop of 3 stages is repeated once on this opening day. 133 challenging kilometres ahead, and the first test is one of the toughest of them all. We begin with our stage of the day. Ruvertel runs for 24 kilometres and sums up this challenging event as it switches through highways, narrow side roads and rough concrete tracks between vineyards. The championship leader is down on the start line. Loeb's DS3 looking aggressive in its road-hugging tarmac spec, and the first asphalt challenge for the new breed of WRC car is underway. The suspension has been lowered and stiffened for optimum grip, and in these smaller, more responsive cars, they should be perfectly suited to these technical roads. Interestingly, Loeb's using a mixture of hard and soft compound tyres. Citroën must be expecting rain this morning. Hirvonen is next in. Ford have been bullish about their hopes for the Fiesta on tarmac, so it's time for the talking to stop, and their drivers now need to make their mark on the stages. In terms of the Finns' championship hopes, a good result in Germany is essential. The Fords all using hard compound tyres, so they'll hope it stays dry. Sebastian Ogier has already proven he can beat his illustrious teammate on gravel. So far, though, he's been unable to match Loeb on tarmac. Sebastian also using a mixture of soft and hard compound tyres, so the Citroën guys playing it safe this morning. They might lose out a bit on these dry roads, but if it rains, they could be in a very strong position. Like his teammate, Jari-Matti Latvala has opted for hard compound tyres, and they're certainly the correct choice for this bone-dry opening stage. He's been working really hard on his tarmac technique over the years, and it's beginning to bear fruit. Jari is flying through Ruvertel. Up ahead though, Loeb is also on the attack. Different tyre tactics then on this opening morning. Let's find out how that's affecting the times using our WRC stage simulator. If the cars had started the stage at the same time, just after 90 kilometres, it's Ogier and Latvala leading. They are locked together, and Ford will be delighted to see this tarmac pace. Hirvonen and Loeb with some work to do over the final 5 kilometres. Well, we're used to seeing Loeb dominate this event. The opening stage is cleared, but that's probably not the start the world champion was hoping for. Well, the tyre gamble not paying off at the moment for Citroën then. Ogier, though, has fared a bit better than his teammate in this dry stage so far. Oh, but he very nearly came unstuck there. Sebastian off the road briefly. He did well to recover that slide as he bounced off the fence, but that will cost him a couple of seconds in lost momentum. How is he going to compare to Loeb? Well, he's still quicker, but that could have been even better were it not for that off-road excursion. Well, we saw from that earlier split time that Jari-Matti Latvala is making an impressive getaway in Germany. With Ogier making that late error, can the Finn take advantage? Yes, what a start for Latvala. A second and a half up on Ogier. And that's the first time a Ford has won a stage in Germany for 3 years. An intriguing start to Rally Deutschland then, and as a former Formula 1 champion, Kimi Räikkönen's tarmac performances are always watched with interest. As ever, tackling these tricky German roads, a very different prospect to racing around a Grand Prix circuit. After a small mistake, Kimi is 9th fastest through stage 1. Germany also marks the first tarmac challenge for Mini. Having finished second here 3 times in his Citroën days, much is expected of Dani Sordo this weekend. The Spaniard sets a solid 6th best time in our stage of the day. Sordo's teammate Chris Meek may have won here in the junior category, but driving a four-wheel drive World Rally car is a very different prospect. Our featured driver will take his time to learn the limits of his John Cooper Works machine. He's just 2.3 seconds off his teammate's effort, so an impressive start from the Northern Irishman too. Well, it's certainly been an eventful start, and few would have predicted that Latvala would lead the way after stage one. There is less than 2.5 seconds between the top four at this early stage, though, with Petter Solberg in 5th, just ahead of the two Works minis. It's building overhead. This could be bad news for the rally leader. And it could be very good news for this man. Sebastian Loeb has now opted for full soft tyres, and if it does start to rain, this could play right into the hands of the Citroens.
Sur gauche 130 plus court, pas corde. 50 mètres, gauche 130 plus court.
This is Mikko Hirvonen's 100th event driving for Ford, and it has been a strong start to the stage. Mikko was 0.2 of a second quicker than Loeb through the first split time after just over a kilometre, but it has now started to rain. And this is really bad news for the Fords. You can already see how damp the surface is getting in here on hard compound tyres. He just won't be able to get any heat into the rubber. Like his teammate Loeb, Ogier is also running on soft rubber, and with that rain up ahead, he could be in a good position here. You can see how good with the WRC stage simulator. This is how that rain has affected things. Already the Fords are dropping back on their hard compound tyres as the road gets increasingly slippery. The Citroens pulling away through every corner, both Hirvonen and Latvala. Way off the pace, more than 3 seconds down, and there's still a long way to go in here. Well, Seb's never been beaten in Germany. Remember, his almost instinctive ability to judge the grip levels again on display in these wet conditions. Riding on board with Loeb now on full softs. That tyre choice doesn't look like so much of a gamble now. Seb is completely in control despite the increasingly wet conditions. Now let's join Latvala through the same section. Rain getting really quite heavy now. And on the hard compound tyres, Jari is going to struggle for grip compared to Loeb. Really tentative on the brakes, and the speed's noticeably down on the world champion. It's almost an effort in itself to keep the Fiesta on the road, and this is looking like a costly stage for the Finn. Germany has never been a happy hunting ground for Petter Solberg. In 8 attempts, the former world champion's never finished higher than 5th. And that is a mistake, under-braking for Petter in the rain. Also caught out on hard tyres. The Norwegian is a minute off the pace in stage 2. Like his teammate, Jari-Matti Latvala lost more than half a minute to the Citroens in stage 2. His hold on the rally lead has unfortunately proved rather brief. Now on to stage 3, and it looks like even more bad news for Latvala. He's picked up a slow puncture, more time lost. You can see his right rear wheel down to the rim. A rally that had started so well, looking increasingly bleak for Jari. Matt Osberg has little experience of competing on tarmac in a WRC car. He's competing in 8th, but a mistake there from Mads, just caught out by the gravel in that corner. He's clipped the curb, and the Norwegian has damaged his right rear suspension. Soon after, he's forced to pull over to make repairs, and he plummets down the leaderboard. Rejoining the mini drivers now, and it has been a strong start for both Meek and this man, Danny Sordo. The Spaniard has tweaked his suspension settings slightly for these stages, and it's enabling him to push even harder. He's up to 4th, following Latvala's problems. Our featured driver, Chris Meek, is also moving in the right direction as he continues to learn the limits of the John Cooper Works. He's not had much luck in the first 2 events of his new team, but so far, so good in Germany. Meek is up to 5th. Ken Block's back for his 5th rally of the year, and after his own miserable run of luck in 2011, the American is desperate for a clean run. Oh, but a big whack on the Armco, and like Osberg, he's damaged his suspension there. So we've had 3 different leaders in 3 stages. Loeb is now in the top spot, and it's been a disaster for Ford. Hirvonen more than half a minute behind Loeb, while the former leader Latvala has slipped to 7th. To the afternoon loop then, and there could be some dirty tarmac out there as the 70-odd cars competing this weekend will have dragged gravel on the road where corners have been cut. Loeb may have already seen off the threat of the Ford drivers, but he still has his young teammate to worry about. Sebastian back on the attack in the second run through Revertal, and as expected there is a dusty layer on top of the tarmac. Could Loeb be at a disadvantage this afternoon? Mikko Hirvonen will certainly hope so, having lost more than half a minute in that wet stage 2. The Finn desperately needs to fight back. Oh, but he won't do it like that. We've seen a number of incidents like that today. Mikko just running slightly wide and clipping the wall at the back of the car. I don't think he's got away with it either. Hirvonen's car slightly offline now. He must have damaged the suspension. It's another frustrating setback for Mikko. Trouble again then, but back in the stage, Loeb's teammate Ogier is looking really committed as he seeks to close that 4-second gap to the rally leader. Here comes the flying finish, and he could be quicker here. Yes, a good run for Sebastian. It's his second fastest time of the day. He's now just 9/10 of a second behind the leader. The fight at the front intensifies then, but for former leader Jari-Matti Latvala, his hopes of getting back involved are rapidly evaporating. A puncture held him up earlier, but now there is an engine problem. He's down to 3 cylinders and losing time fast. This is rapidly becoming a day to forget for Ford. Very sick-sounding Fiesta there, and as ever in rallying, one man's problem is another's opportunity, and Danny Sordo has certainly benefited from Latvala's woes, already up into 4th with Hirvonen losing time. Danny has begun his pursuit of the podium positions. And defying his lack of experience in a World Rally car in Germany, Chris Meek has really moved up a gear in this first stage of the afternoon loop. 3rd quickest in stage 4, he's pulled further ahead of Petter Solberg and closed up on his teammate. So both minis comfortably in the top 5 with Solberg in 6th. Very little between the 2 works Citroens at the front, while Hirvonen's now more than a minute behind. At least he's in the points though. Latvala slipped down to 12th. 2 more stages to come on this opening day of the ADAC Rally Deutschland. They're coming up in a few minutes. Welcome back. The WRC action in the Mosel Valley continues shortly, but first let's get you up to date with the Support Championships. Juho Hänninen has become the dominant force in the SWRC this season, and after his emphatic win on home soil 3 weeks ago, the Finn has continued the momentum into Germany. Despite not being known as a tarmac expert, Juho set an impressive pace early on. Not as impressive as Martin Prokop though. The Czech star was the leader of the Super 2000 category after stage 1. In stage 2 though, his day would come to a very abrupt end. With Prokop taking a trip into the vineyards, it opened up opportunities for the chasing pack. Oyt Tanak claimed a scratch time in the wet stage 2 after taking the same soft tyre gamble as the works Citroens. He was running in 2nd after stage 5. And local star Herman Gassner Jr. had been having one of his best rounds to date on home soil, in the final podium place until he hit a wall on the final stage. Having built up a healthy lead, it was looking good for Hänninen, but there was more late drama, with Juho hitting the same wall as Gassner Jr. So it's Oyt Tanak who's the leader after day 1, with Hänninen and Gassner Jr. unable to make it back to service. They've been awarded 10-minute time penalties, elevating Carl Kruder up to 2nd. In the WRC Academy, meanwhile, championship leader Egon Kauer has found it tough on his least favourite surface. He's wisely opted for caution in Germany. After just missing out in a thrilling fight to the finish in Finland, Irishman Craig Breen has shown incredible pace on the first tarmac round of the year. Breen was involved in a tussle for second place with Alistair Fisher until the Brit dropped back with a puncture on the final stage of the day. But out front is Spanish tarmac specialist Jere Lemes. Quickest in all but one of the stages run on day one, he holds an impressive lead. The gap back to Breen is more than half a minute, with Italian Andrea Crinola also showing impressive asphalt form in third. So to the final action of day one at the sport's top level, and it's well known that seven-time world champion Sebastian Loeb has an unbeaten record here in Germany. He is the current leader, but with his ambitious young teammate showing real signs of tarmac brilliance as well today, Loeb will be well aware he has a fight on his hands.
It was a good decision in the morning. We've done a good strategy with Ogier. Both we had a good tyre choice for the morning. Now in the afternoon it was quite easy, it was dry, so hard choice was the best one. Everybody has the same. We are fighting hard with Ogier, he's pushing very hard, so we try to make the gap.
Mikko Hirvonen, meanwhile, has been forced to make roadside repairs to his wonky suspension after his scare in stage 4. For now, the straightened links are holding, and while he might not be able to match the work Citroëns, he is still the best of the rest, despite driving a patched-up Fiesta. Ogier, meanwhile, has maintained his pursuit of the rally leader. Almost 5 seconds down on his teammate in stage 5, he fails to match Loeb again in the day's final test. He's certainly keeping the pressure on, though. There's only 7.5 seconds between the leading pair at the end of the day. And how must Jari-Matti Latvala be feeling? A thrilling start to the rally saw the Finn lead in Germany for the first time, but a succession of problems have seen him plummet down the standings. Another puncture further compounds his misery. Petter Solberg is pushing as much as he can, but as we saw in Finland, he just can't seem to get enough from his DS3 to stay in touch with the leading drivers. His target now is to get back ahead of the Minis. And what an impressive day's driving we have seen from both Mini drivers on their first tarmac round in the John Cooper Works. Our featured driver Chris Meek has gradually begun to build on his speed today, although he has picked up a worrying engine glitch in stage 5. Oh, and it might have proved distracting. That spin, not what he needed, with Petter Solberg lurking a few seconds behind his 5th place. Meek does just enough to stay ahead of Solberg as the day draws to a close, but there's just a couple of seconds between them. Up front, though, the stage is set for another thrilling fight between Citroën's Frenchmen. The action starts in the fast and flowing Saarland forests before the ultimate test of the Panzerplatte on the Baumholder military range, where the rugged concrete places a huge onus on tyre durability. First into the second day stages will be the rally leader Loeb. Can his teammate Ogier mount a challenge today? A long way adrift in third is Mikko Hirvonen. He starts ahead of the Mini drivers Sordo and Meek after their terrific opening day. Petter Solberg had a difficult first leg. He's into action just ahead of his brother Henning and former F1 champion Kimi Räikkönen. Jari-Matti Latvala once again has to fight back from early problems. Mats Osberg and Dutchman Dennis Kuipers round off the leading WRC starters. Further back, Matt Wilson and Ken Block will hope to improve from disappointing starts. First up on this crucial second day are the 11 kilometres of the Hermeskel stage, a fast and flowing road through farmland, not a cloud in sight, so no game-changing tyre choices to make this morning. And leading from the front, as he so often does, is world champion Sebastian Loeb. The undisputed master of these stages is always incredible to watch, and you can see how much more flowing these roads are compared with the junction-filled stages of day one. Loeb completely in control as ever, but with his teammate less than 7.5 seconds back, he needs to maintain this breathtaking pace. With the second Citroën of Sébastien Ogier more than a minute clear of the rest of the field, the French team are in a really strong position. It will be interesting to see how long they allow their drivers to continue fighting. Ogier just 0.3 of a second down on Loeb in that stage, again proving he can match his teammate on tarmac.
Sebastian ended the first one on Saturday morning. How was that?
It's okay. It's a bit dusty at the end.
You don't look very happy.
I have no comment.
Well, Ogier is not happy. Perhaps team orders have already been called. There's certainly friction in the Citroën squad. Mini, meanwhile, have had a really promising first tarmac outing so far. Dani Sordo is one of a very limited number of drivers who's challenged Loeb on asphalt in recent years. He starts day 2 in 4th. If the team can squeeze a bit more power from their BMW engines, the future looks very bright indeed. Starting the second day, just 17 seconds off the pace of his tarmac specialist teammate. Our featured driver Chris Meek has also made a really impressive start. Bit of a moment there for Meek. It is a sign of how hard the British star is pushing. Well, Meek frustrated with himself, and well, he might be starting the day just 2.2 seconds behind the Mini driver, his 2003 world champion Petter Solberg. For a man accustomed to fighting for podium places, the Norwegian would not have enjoyed lying in 6th place overnight. Petter takes advantage of Meek's mistake and moves up to 5th. Dennis Kuipers is enjoying Rally Deutschland. It's as close as the Dutchman can get to a home event. The Firm Power Tools World Rally Team driver certainly looks at home. He jumps up 2 places to 7th in Hermeskel. Matt Wilson struggled to find his confidence on the opening day and has started the morning down in 12th position.
Square right, slippy maybe. 220.
Oh, he's lost control and off the road. Big impact with that small tree. A brush with disaster there for the Brit, but he seems to have got away with that. Wilson gets back on the stage without loss of position.
200.
Into the 14-kilometre Bosenberg stage, and let's get back to that intriguing fight at the front. Loeb had the upper hand in the opening stage, remember, but it remains to be seen if there has been team orders given with this strong 1-2 finish at stake.
Yeah, maybe you have to ask him, but I think that's the best thing to do in our situation. We are far in front of everybody, so we'll see what he's doing now.
Interesting comments from Loeb, not going as far as admitting team orders, but he does acknowledge they would be crazy to throw away such a strong position. Ogier was beaten in stage 7. Let's see how he gets on in Bosenberg. It's looking good. Well, if there has been team orders, I'm not sure how Citroën will feel about that back at base. Again, I don't think we're going to get a word from Ogier. Something clearly going on at Citroën this morning. Henning Solberg has had a tough day so far, suffering a strange vibration in the car. He's already slipped to 8th. Whoa, and the Norwegian just bouncing off the line and off the road there. Quick trip across the field, and Henning soon back on his way.
Crest 16, short.
Well, the gap between the two Frenchmen leading the way is down to 3.8 seconds after stage 7. But look at that gap back to 3rd place here, and that's why Citroën are keen to maintain those positions. Dani Sordo remains the leading Mini in 4th. After losing almost 4 seconds to Ogier in stage 8, Loeb will look to stamp his authority back on the rally here in Birkenfelder. Seb's incredible car control on display again, and he's sent another reminder to his young compatriot about who's in charge. Loeb is quicker this time. He pulls another 3.2 seconds away. Loeb's former teammate Dani Sordo, meanwhile, is still in impressive form. In just the 3rd competitive outing for the Mini Works team and the car's first event on tarmac, his times are very close to Mikko Hirvonen's, the 4th man still tantalisingly close in the final podium place. Our featured driver Chris Meek may have lost a position to Petter Solberg this morning, but he's certainly not conceded defeat. Chris beat the Norwegian in the previous stage and looks really determined again here in stage 9. It's the first time the Northern Irishman has consistently run this high up the WRC standings, but he looks like he's been doing this for years. Another strong time from Meek then, but how will Petter Solberg react? The Norwegian's co-driver Chris Patterson, actually a former navigator for Meek. They've had a subdued rally so far, and it isn't getting any better. Petter's punctured a tyre. He's really having to manhandle the DS3 through the last few kilometres. More than half a minute is lost, and Petter slips back behind Meek on the leaderboard.
The Meek one right, half long. 60.
The season is becoming increasingly frustrating for the former world champion.
Early 4 minus.
Meek moving back up to 5th was the only position change in the top 10 in stage 9. At the front, Loeb continues to keep his teammate Ogier at arm's length for now, with Hirvonen still a distant 3rd place. Panzerplatte has become this event's iconic stretch of road. This is our stage of the day. For 34 kilometres, the abrasive concrete road snakes its way across the Baumholder military range with the huge Hinkelstein rocks lying stageside. They're designed to keep tanks on the road. If you hit them in a rally car, they hurt. One man who knows these roads better than most is 8-time Germany winner Sebastian Loeb. We're away, Loeb charging up through the gears, 0 to 100 kilometres an hour in around 3.5 seconds in the tarmac spec Citroën DS3. Sebastian is first to tackle this monster of a stage. You can see the Hinkelsteins lying menacingly alongside the road. And what is this man going to do in Panzerplatte? It's been an interesting morning so far for Sebastian Ogier. It remains to be seen what has been going on behind the scenes at Citroën. But out in the stages, we've seen an angry, aggressive drive from Ogier on day 2. Mikko Hirvonen has again been unable to match the times of the Citroën total drivers over the first 3 stages this morning. For the next 34 kilometres, Mikko will need to be completely focused on the pace notes from Jarmo Leitonen. Our stage of the day is also famous for the Gina jump. Sordo is about to hit it now. We saw the Minis look tidy over the jumps in Finland a few weeks ago. And again in Germany, this John Cooper works, really does fly through the air well. Perfect landing on 4 wheels. Now we know Ken Block likes to fly. We've seen that from the recent release of his new Gymkhana 4 video.
120. Jump 100. Danger. Leftover crest into
Wow, the American with an absolutely enormous leap over the Gina jump. That was huge. Brave stuff from both drivers, but very different techniques over the jump. We can compare them now using the WRC stage simulator. Approaching the crest, Block was surprisingly 7 kilometres an hour slower at the takeoff point. And let's look at that total distance jump. The Monster World Rally Team driver clearing 41 metres compared to Sordo's 29, but it does go to show the biggest air is not necessarily quickest. Sordo pulling away on the landing. Well, let's get back up to the sharp end now, and the rally leader is not far from the finish of Panzerplatte.
Attention, droite 143 pour ce frein, pour gauche 90 pas corde.
Oh, he's overcooked it into that left-hander. Loeb forced into evasive action there as he hit a slippery patch of gravel. Unforgiving Hinkelsteins lying around there too. Seb quickly back on his way, but with such a small gap to his teammates, every second counts. Well, Ogier had been a second or 2 down on Loeb through every split time before that rare mistake from his compatriot. Well, let's see if he does take advantage. Yes, despite those team orders, the momentum swings back in Ogier's direction. 2.3 seconds made up there. About this situation, Loeb's small mistake will give everyone behind hope, but with more than 1.5 minutes to make up on the leading pair, Hirvonen needs something more dramatic than that to happen. And unfortunately for Mikko, it appears on this occasion it's his own run through Panzerplatte that has found drama. 9 kilometres before the finish, Hirvonen's picked up a puncture. He's decided driving on the flat tyre will lose less time than stopping to change it. But by the end of the stage, the wheel has been shredded, and it's caught fire as well, with the hot rubber igniting on the brake disc. A quick thinking Marshall there, preventing Mikko's hopes really going up in smoke. But it's yet another setback for the Ford man. Mikko's delay saw him lose more than 1 minute to the leading Citroëns, and that, of course, provides a tantalising opportunity for Danny Sordo in the Mini John Cooper works. The Spaniard began the stage just over 23 seconds adrift of Hirvonen's 3rd place, and he should comfortably move ahead here. Yes, what a remarkable rally this is becoming for Mini on the new team's third event in the WRC. They now have a driver lying in a podium position. Hirvonen lost so much time that he could even lose another place to our featured driver Chris Meek. The Brit can't quite get past, but with the sixth best time in this incredible stage, he's now just 2.4 seconds behind Mikko. And that was Kimi Räikkönen flashing past our camera, who says you can't go sideways on tarmac. Kimi's had a frustrating rally at times, but the former F1 star has begun to find some pace on this second morning. The Iceman jumps up 2 places to 7th. At the front, though, that scrap for the lead has taken yet another twist. Ogier ends the morning loop just 4.8 seconds behind Loeb. Sordo ensures there's a Mini in the top 3 for the first time. But back in Trier, what does the rally leader think about those team orders?
For sure, for him, it's something difficult to accept. I understand that he cannot be happy with something like that. But on another side, we are driving for a manufacturer who is paying us, and I think people would not understand that we fight until the end, and one of the 2 cars is going off, and we lose some important points. So I think sometimes it's some decision to take.
And for a young driver who knows he's very fast, do you think he'll want to push against you, or do you think he'll stay behind and listen to those orders?
I think he has not a lot of choices. If the big boss says he has to, I don't know, maybe, but what can he do?
Now, obviously, this is a decision that you can't change, but do you think it's the right one to not let you fight for victory?
Of course not, but that's not my decision.
And so the plan for this afternoon then, to listen to the Citroën top brass and just stay in second position, yes?
Yeah, continue to have a good drive like this without any mistake, and for the moment the car is working very well, so it's not so bad.
Well, Ogier's body language says it all. It's all very interesting as we move into the afternoon loop. So after all the talk of the Citroën situation, let's get back to that battle on the stages. But the team may have told Ogier they want to secure this 1-2 finish, but the Frenchman's made it clear he's not impressed with those orders. And it's a similar pattern to what we saw in the morning. Ogier takes 3.5 seconds out of his teammate in stage 11, only for Loeb to fight back in 12. The status quo continues for the time being. It's been another frustrating day for Mikko Hirvonen. He's lost his podium spot and is clearly desperate to get it back. Finn will enjoy this short gravel section. And a huge jump from Mikko. He's giving it everything to get back ahead of Sordo. Chris Meek is still in a strong position in 5th. Distinctive sounding John Cooper works. The featured driver has looked a bit wild at times as he continues to get to grips with the Mini on tarmac, but he has looked tidier in the afternoon loop. Chris still in touch with Hirvonen's 4th place as well.
Only 2 right cuts, 50. Only 4 left close. Into early right cut.
There is just over 6 seconds between Meek and Hirvonen after stage 12, while Sordo's still looking comfortable in 3rd, and that enthralling fight at the front remains very tense. The team might want them to hold position, but it's still really tight. The fight for the WRC win in Germany, meanwhile, is still rather tense, despite Citroën's orders for their drivers to hold station. But hold on just a moment, there is a problem here for the rally leader. We've seen a number of punctures already this weekend, and now it is Loeb's turn to get one. He's got to run for 10 kilometres on the deflating tyre. It's cost him well over a minute. The lead will surely be gone here, and possibly with it, Loeb's 8-year unbeaten run in Germany. Rubber completely gone. Loeb cannot believe it. He's out to assess the damage at the stop control, and he knows what this means. He could have gifted the victory to his teammate.
What happened?
I don't know. I think maybe in a straight I saw it was a few rocks on the road. I think it's coming from that, because I was taking it easy, but what can we do?
What's going to happen now? I mean, there was team orders this morning, but that's not Ogier's fault.
No, that's not Ogier's fault, so I don't know, that's it.
Incredible drama here in Germany. Back in the stage, Ogier will be well aware his teammates hit problems. He's receiving low split times inside the car. Ogier storms into the lead and now holds a huge advantage. He's been unhappy about those team orders all day. What a turnaround.
Sebastian, I don't know whether you want to celebrate or not, but you've just been handed the lead with a mistake there for the puncture of Loeb.
For sure, I don't want to celebrate it. I can be happy when my teammate has a problem, but I think today the good thing is there is a justice in the sport, so that's a good thing.
Well, controversial comments from Ogier. It's an unbelievable finish to the second day at the front. Dani Sordo, meanwhile, has had a terrific day in the Mini. The Spaniard may have initially been gifted third following Hirvanen's puncher, but he's certainly holding on to it by merit. Dani's second fastest in stage 14. We've not seen much of Jari-Matti Latvala today, but he has managed to fight his way back into the point-scoring places after his disastrous day one. Oh, he's pushing. Bit of a moment there. Oh, but he's off the road. A big accident for the Finn, but both he and co-driver Mika Anttila are unharmed. That has ruined all his hard work, though. So Ogier is now the leader. He's more than a minute and 11 seconds ahead of a devastated Loeb, and Sordo looks comfortable in third.
The final phase of the Battle of Rally Deutschland will be run through the vineyard stages of the Mosul region before the Circus Maximus Power Stage closes the event in the streets of the Roman city of Trier. So this is how they line up. Sebastian Ogier first away, his lead over Loeb, 1 minute 11.3 seconds. Dani Sordo goes third, battling with the Ford of Mikko Hirvonen behind. Those two separated by just 33 seconds. Chris Meek and Petter Solberg are battling for fifth. Petter just 9 behind the Mini. Kimi Räikkönen and Henning Solberg go 7th and 8th, with Amindo Araujo, Jari-Matti Latvala and Mads Osberg rounding out the top 11. So here we go then, grey skies, but the fans are out. Sebastian Ogier will be hoping that the rain holds off as he begins his bid to break the Loeb dominance in Deutschland. Of course, Sebastian not happy with the team orders yesterday, and after some fairly scathing comments directed at Citroën, has since apologised, and now he finds himself out in front and on course for the win. Here is the Deutschland dominator, Sebastian Loeb, now really relying on a mistake from Ogier, but stranger things have happened. We've certainly seen in the past that the young French driver can be prone to lapses in concentration on the final day. What a weekend it's been for this man. Dani Sordo in the all-new Mini in third place, doing all he can to hang on to that podium position. And that's the man trying to steal it from him, Mikko Hirvonen, pushing hard in the Fiesta.
Oikein nopea ojo. Huomio 110. Haivasin tosi hidas yli nypyn.
Oh, that's a big moment for Mikko. Completely committed, but lucky to get away with that one.
Lyhyt oikein hidas tiukka.
Our featured driver Chris Meek battling with Petter Solberg for 5th place, and after a puncture on the first stage this morning, he needs to stay calm and not do things like that. What a disaster! Oh, he's got it back on the road, but will have lost a lot of time.
In the 6th lap, 126 right, 120 line.
Now then, here comes Petter. Remember, that gap was just 8 seconds. It's been a clean run through for the Norwegians so far. Keep your eye on the clock. That's enough, and Petter moves up to 5th place. Using Stage Simulator, we can compare Meek and Solberg's entry speeds into that corner. Chris a full 22 kilometers an hour quicker, and that's why he ended up in the grapes. Down the field, and here's Mads Osberg, not a tarmac specialist. And there's proof. That's a huge accident, and that Fiesta is going no further. After the first two stages this morning, Ogier remains in control, over a minute ahead of Loeb, with Sordo and Hirvonen now separated by just 25.9 seconds for third. Welcome back to this third and final day of Rally Deutschland 2011. We still have two stages to run before we head to the live power stage. And it's this man, Sebastian Ogier, in charge at the front. Conditions incredibly difficult for the drivers this afternoon. Rain and wet mud has been pulled out onto the stage from this morning's action. Ogier just has to keep it on the road to become the first man other than Sebastian Loeb to win here in Germany. And after all the team tactics this weekend, it will be a win he will relish. And what about Dani Sordo? The Spaniard has surpassed all expectations so far this weekend. The Mini has shown fantastic pace on tarmac. Dani, of course, a specialist on this surface, and on course to bring the team their first podium finish in this, just their third WRC event. Here comes his teammate and our featured driver, Chris Meek, doing all he can to claim back fifth place from Petter Solberg after his problems this morning. But his Mini suffered an irreparable electrical fault and, as in Finland, cried enough at the final hurdle. So this is how it stands as we head into the power stage. It's looking good for Ogier, 41.8 seconds ahead of Loeb. Perhaps more importantly though, Dani Sordo on course for a podium for Mini. And so to the power stage, extra points are up for grabs for the top three fastest through the Circus Maximus, 4.37 kilometres, made up of three tight, twisty laps through the city of Trier. What a finish to this rally as we cross to Paul King and Julian Porter in the commentary box.
So Petter Solberg comes into the power stage in fifth place. His position a lot easier now. Chris Meek is out. But of course there's 3 more points on offer in the power stage. Let's see what he can do.
Petter is just throwing his car around, handbraking it in places where no one else has handbraked it.
Yeah, he is, of course, could be about to change this afternoon, but at the moment he is the only other driver still competing who's ever won a tarmac event. I think Corsica, was it 2003? Yeah. So he does have form on tarmac this weekend. Let's see
that was after a shakedown crash as well.
Yeah, let's see what he can do through the last few corners. 3:20.4. Time to beat Harry Matty. He's coming into the home straight now. Just those couple of chicanes to get through.
He's hustled this car around. If he gets this is through pure desire and commitment. This is. I mean, Latvia, as I said, was neat and tidy. Petter has just thrown this around and taken it by the scruff of its neck.
Petter, of course, never short of desire. Let's see how much desire he's got through the last corner. 3:20.4, the time to beat. Petter comes through. It's going to be very close.
It's the same.
Well, there you go. It's gone down to the nearest 100th of a second. 400th of a second quicker. Petter Solberg is now our leader. So there is an update on the power stage standings so far. Petter Solberg just ahead of Latvala and Wilson. But in the overall standings, it's this man, Dani Sordo, who's in third place and on course to bring home a memorable podium finish for Mini in just the team's third rally back in the sport. I thought Petter looked a bit wild, but it was certainly effective.
Yep, you're okay at the minute, Petter. You've got a bit of a problem with 2 Frenchmen to come yet, but...
yeah, that's true.
At the minute, Petter potentially is going to score a point unless Sordo takes a big chunk out of this or a shortcut or something, but the Mini sounds great. The noise resonating off the buildings of Trier.
Yeah, and Dani finished second here 3 times and yet another podium finish. 2 more tarmac rounds, of course, to come for Mini later in the season, so we're going to really watch his pace with interest. What a terrific base they have to build on now with this car.
There was something quite amusing at the end of the final stage yesterday when Loeb had his puncture. Sordo said to me, why did that never happen when I was in second place and teammate to Loeb? Well, but this this might mean more to him than anything else.
Exactly, no matter. Let's see him through the finish line. Petter's watching on. Yeah, he is slower. Petter, you can breathe a sigh of relief again. Danny Sordo's through, 2.5 seconds slower. But let's not forget, it's all about that podium finish for Mini. Fantastic weekend for the team and for Danny Sordo and co-driver Carlos Del Barrio, of course. Fantastic weekend for Mini. So that is Sordo through. Just the 2 work Citroens remain. Sebastian Loeb, he's next. He's second overall, of course. But he could be about to see that incredible run of 8 Rally Deutschland victories come to an end. And after the frustration of yesterday afternoon, he will be desperate to claw back as many championship points as he can in here. I guess he'll be out for revenge in the power stage. We'll have to wait and see if he can beat Petter Solberg's time and if he can beat the time of his teammate who's currently leading the rally.
I think Loeb is... yesterday, I've never seen him so disappointed.
Yeah, remember, as we just said, first 8 times here and a 7-time world champion. Also on course to make it 8 world titles. Let's not forget, he is leading the championship. 66 WRC wins, but it doesn't look like he's going to get number 67 this weekend.
Not at the moment, but he was brilliant. And to be honest with you, yeah, maybe the fight was taken out of it when the tactics or the team advised them to hold position. But they were so on it on Friday. They were just they were away and up the road. The tyre choice they picked was inspired, going with soft tyres. I was looking at the skies thinking they'd made the biggest blunder in the world. 2.1 up.
2.1 up. Well,
what were we saying about him?
I'd like to see the look on Petter's face now, because I think he could be in trouble here.
He'd be putting his seatbelts on now.
Sebastian Loeb's only won 1 power stage so far this year, but he will be an angry man. He will not like the fact that his incredible record at Rally Deutschland looks like it's about to be broken. But he could be on course to claim the first power stage victory in Germany at the very least, but he's still got a few more corners to get through. And as we've seen already, even in this very last stage, you can still expect drama if you get your line slightly wrong and clip some of these curves.
I was just about to say, just look how neat he is, though.
Yeah.
Look how neat he's been.
Compared to Petter, especially, very, very different. Sebastian known for his incredibly precise, error-free. Look at this. He just looks so calm, doesn't he?
He is.
3:20.4, the time to beat. Loeb's coming through the final corner, and I think he could go into the lead by a comfortable margin. 3:17.4, 3 seconds quicker than Petter Solberg. Well done, Petter. That does, I think, at least guarantee him 1 point at least, doesn't it?
At least one. But let's have some speed through there.
Anyway, here is our rally leader. He has a lead of 41.8 seconds, and he'll have seen the time coming through from his teammates. He's a competitive man. We've seen that this weekend. So we can expect maybe a few more fireworks through these last couple of kilometres.
Because he sees Loeb as the greatest. If he can consistently beat Loeb, he will get this. His status grows. This man is fearless. He really is.
Yeah, well, the team, they've got 2 of the greatest drivers around at the moment, but I tell you what, would you be a team boss at Citroen right now? Because it seems very difficult to handle them both. They're both so competitive, and they both want to win so much.
Well, what you've got is you've got the guy who's been there, done it, and you've got the young upstart who is a little bit arrogant, but you have to be a little bit arrogant to be this successful. So let's listen to Julian and
100 mètres, frein gauche 108 000 Hongrie, 108 000 Hongrie qui ouvre. 80 mètres, gauche 120 très vite, 50 mètres, gauche 110 au moins.
He's into the final lap.
100 mètres.
3 wins out of 8 starts this season.
This will mean more to him than anything else.
Oh, he's slower. Well, he's a lot slower. 1.6 seconds down on his teammate. I tell you what, that was quite some effort from Sebastian Loeb.
It's not just been how many rallies since Loeb has been on tarmac. How many years has it been since Loeb has been on tarmac? Ogier is about to end a run which stems back to 2005. 2004 was Martin. He won in 2005 to Loeb. And that is a huge amount of rallies that Loeb started winning tarmac at the start of 2005.
That is incredible, isn't it?
7 years us that someone else is going to get unbeaten on tarmac.
Yeah. He might not be on course to win the power stage, but we are about to see rallying history made in terms of ending what has been a quite phenomenal run by the 7-time world champion Sebastian Loeb. There he is with co-driver Daniel Elena.
That wouldn't surprise me if his family have just turned up.
It'll be interesting to see the reaction between the two teammates at the end of the stage. Anyway, let's have a look at Ogier over the line. Yeah, 2:19.4. He's 2 seconds slower, but he does slot into second place. Well, Loeb beat everyone by 2 seconds around a short city centre.
That is a massive win.
Yeah,
psychologically.
Power stage win for Sebastian Loeb. Rally Deutschland win for Sebastian Ogier. He ends Sebastian Loeb's 8-year domination of this event and his 7-year domination of tarmac rallies in general. What a finish to Rally Germany. Congratulations to Sebastian Ogier and Julien Ingrassia. And there's confirmation of the power stage result. Loeb claims his second power stage win. Ogier gets 2 points to add to the 25 for the win. And Peter Solberg claims the final point.
Second place on the power stage win is good for the championship.
Yeah, good, we can say, but for sure it's always better to have a victory, especially here in Germany. I was used to win, but what I say every time when I come, one day it will stop, and today it stopped, so, but okay, we scored some good points. We had a puncture yesterday, we couldn't really, we were really unlucky on that, and okay, we've done the rest as well as we could.
Dani Sordo is the man of the weekend, bringing Mini their first podium in just 3 rallies. But it's Sebastian Loeb who, after 8 years, had to settle for second. It's Ogier who takes the win in Germany.
It's my first victory on tarmac. It was a long weekend, but at the end it's a nice victory to get. I'm really happy with that. We are still in the fight for the championship, so as long as we're going to have a challenge, we will try.
So, after a controversial weekend, Loeb celebrates the power stage victory, Ogier celebrates the win. Join us after the break for all the reactions from the teams and drivers. Welcome back to Germany. It's been a whirlwind of emotions for rally winner Sebastian Ogier this weekend. He's claimed his first tarmac win and well-deserved celebrations, but this has been a controversial event for both Ogier and Citroën.
It's amazing to score 27th point here. I didn't expect that before the start. My progression is good on the surface. That's the most important for me this weekend. I'm going in the right direction. I can say that with a regular fight, I will win this rally, but that's how it is. At the end, we are the winner, and that's the most important.
Do you think that team orders overshadowed the weekend at all and brought a negative slight to this rally?
I don't know if it's the order of Ogier who was speaking a lot, but for sure it was not so positive.
So, unrest in the Citroën camp, and in the driver's title race, Ogier's win means he's now Loeb's closest rival. He's passed Mikko Hirvonen and is now 25 points behind his teammate. Sordo's third place ensures a Mini driver appears in the top 10 for the first time this year. In the manufacturer standings, another Citroën 1-2 means it's looking bleak for Ford Abu Dhabi, 91 points behind. Another great weekend for the French squad though, but with such competitive drivers, could there be difficult times ahead?
Team order is part of my job, and my main objective is boss title, as everybody knows. So even if it's somebody is frustrated, I have to do that.
And has any friction, any tension between Sebastian Loeb and Sebastian Ogier disappeared now?
Anyway, for the moment, this is the victory. We will see after next day to see exactly what happened and how it happens and what to do. But today, this is the victory.
The Abu Dhabi Spirit of the Rally Award has rarely had a more deserving winner. In Germany, it goes to Dani Sordo for an incredible drive that secured Mini their first podium finish in just their third rally. The German event also marks the 6th round of what's been a really competitive season in the SWRC. With championship leader Juho Hänninen out of contention for the top spots, this was a crucial final day for rally leader Ott Tänak as he defended his huge advantage out front. Former PWRC champion Nasser Al-Attiyah has had a rollercoaster of a season so far, only scoring in 2 out of 4 rounds. The Qatari driver has had another difficult weekend, so was relieved to claim his best result to date with second on his least favourite surface. And for the second time this season, Friese-Turan has found the perfect combination of speed and caution. A crucial factor on Deutschland's terrifying roads, the Hungarian achieved his second podium finish of the season. Martin Prokop, on the other hand, has been one of the quickest drivers in Germany, but unfortunately he has also been erratic, as this moment on the final day proved. Local star Hermann Gassner Jr. making exactly the same mistake in stage 15. But no such dramas for the rally leader. Young Tanak continues to impress and now has a tarmac victory to add to his growing reputation. Tanak and co-driver Kuldar Sik claimed their second win of the season in Germany, even managing to catch the car in front on the power stage.
Oh, a great victory here, well done.
Yeah, it's been really good weekend. No mistakes from our side and no mistakes on the car, so it was really nice. Our first event with Super 2000 and tarmac, so for sure it's good to win.
Tanak claimed the win by more than 5.5 minutes from Alatir. Turan took third, with Juho Hänninen relieved to finish fourth. Juho's closest rival is now Ott Tanak after the Estonian's maximum here, but the gap still stands at 18 points with 2 rounds remaining. For round 10, the WRC returns to Australia, a land of sea, sand and surf, but for these drivers it means a return to rough, tough forest gravel stages. There's a preview of the new event on WRC.com, where you can also catch more highlights from this enthralling weekend in Germany. Sebastian Ogier and Julian Ingrassia take the top step of the podium, but what a finish for Mini and Dani Sordo. The future looks very bright. Loeb's Deutschland domination is over, and after a weekend of infighting, it's now his Citroën teammate Ogier who is his closest championship rival. Make sure you join us down under for round 10, but until then, it's goodbye from Trier.